I want to cover is I want to say that a tool is only as good as the strategy it helps you manage. A lot of times I love to jump to the very end. I love to jump straight to the tools and say, okay, show me the program, show me the apps, show me the things that you actually use to manage this. But really, a tool is only going to be as good as the strategy that it helps you manage. Say, tools will only amplify. They will never clarify. So start with what matters and then move to begin to try out tools. So a tool is never going to help bring clarity. It's only going to amplify whatever clarity or lack of clarity already exists. Step one is to gather information. Start by collecting all of the information that you are going to need. When we're looking to collect all this information, like I said, I hate email. So there are several tools that you can use, and you'll want to write these down. The first one is a tool. I know Phil Bowdle out at Westridge Church in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a big fan of Wufoo. Wufoo Forms allows you to create all sorts of pre-made forms, and it's $14.95 a month for the basic package. And for almost everyone, I think in this chat, that's going to be sufficient. I don't think many more people are going to need more than their $14.95 a month plan. But that's a great way to create custom forms and capture all this information from your staff. Now, I know the second step here that we're going to go over is organize. What you want to do with organizing, the goal is to gather all communication items into one central location for an at a glance look at scheduling. You want to be able to see in one place all of the communication items that are going on. The problem is when you have, somebody fill out forms, and so you've got 15 different forms for communication items, you have to open up a PDF every single time. Or if you've got them all gathered in emails, you have to go through all your emails as you look at each individual item. What you want to do, what I recommend, is finding one place, one tool that facilitates all of the items coming in together. This is what you're going to want to have quick access to. All the information you've gathered. You'll want to have a quick glance at the scheduled communication outlets and dates. So where you're saying, and we'll get into this, but this is just a precursor, where you're saying these are the places that this communication is going to go out. This event is going to be communicated, and these are the dates that it's going to go out on. The number one way that I have found, which is effective for helping me prioritize, is ask questions to get clarification on the level of importance. Clarification or asking questions is the number one underutilized tool that I think communication directors, communicators, communication assistants, anybody in communications has at their disposal. Asking questions is like gold for me. I cannot overemphasize the power of asking questions, because when you ask questions, you're opening yourself up to hearing somebody give you a more articulate vision of what they're trying to accomplish than they themselves are probably aware of. So what I encourage people to do is to list what outlets they have available at their disposal by writing them all down. And you see, I've got a list there. I kind of wrote down all of the different outlets that organizations and churches primarily have available to them. So if we're defining the weekly email exists to be the first place we communicate about any announcement or event. So before it gets communicated anywhere else, the second that we have an announcement, a communication comes through, if it's appropriate, we're going to communicate that in the email right away. So a great example is if you've got dates for a winter camp all the way in August, you're not going to communicate that in September or October, and maybe not even November on a church-wide level. But the first place it gets communicated way ahead of time, when you decide, okay, this is when parents are making these decisions, that's when you would include it in the weekly email, if the weekly email exists to be the first place we communicate about any announcement or event. So you can see logic. If they say it's for Fellowship One integration or a church database integration, who's it for, when does registration begin, and maximum number of registrants, promo code, everything that I'm going to need or the person entering this information is going to need. So back to Asana. So once I get that information, I begin inputting it in Asana. I take the title and I take the date and I put it here as the main line, as the title. Then I take all the information from the description and I paste it here. If there's a lot of information, I will upload it as an attachment. I'll print it as a PDF and I'll upload it as an attachment.